Hey, good afternoon. We're going to do something we haven't done in quite some time. We are going to do a new Whiskey Wednesday. Now, why am I doing this today? Here's the thing. And this is on a bottle you may not even be able to find. There was very few left. But this is a very important whiskey. Why is that? Because this is Westland's Cask, 5410 cask strength, Washington State wine finished single malt whiskey. Let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Stay tuned. Hey, this is Scott. You've tuned into the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast channel, YouTube's primary channel for discussing Washington State wine, well, not just Washington State, Pacific Northwest wines and spirits, mostly Washington State, but we do venture out a little bit, but not exclusively. So that being said, if you do like this channel, and you do like this content, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. When you do hit the subscribe button, you're going to see a little bell icon. Go ahead and click on the bell icon, and then hit the all. Not the personalized, but the all. That way, if you do like this type of content, when I do upload this stuff, you will be notified. Now, YouTube's algorithms are a little wonky. I keep hearing from different creators that sometimes it may kick you out of the select all series, so you may have to go back in and redo that. But let's go ahead and jump right in. This is a new Whiskey Wednesday, and what we're going to be discussing today is something I have been advocating for, especially with some of Washington State's distilleries. I'm glad that Westland has jumped right in, and they've gone ahead, and this is their standard malt whiskey recipe. For those that don't know, Westland is a single malt distillery out of South Seattle. They distill, they do their bottling there, but they do their aging in Hoquiam. My understanding is they are building a rick house up in Skagit County to bring a little bit, get it out of Hoquiam and bring it up towards, a little bit closer towards their distillery. That being said, this particular whiskey is their very first whiskey that's been released and finished in a Washington State wine cask. Now, what this is two separate whiskeys in two separate barrels that they went ahead. One's an first fill Westland barrel that had their regular single malt whiskey stored in. The other is a first fill bourbon barrel. They don't tell you which where they got the bourbon from or the bourbon barrel from. And what they've done is they've taken those two barrels and then they've combined them into a first fill French oak syrah wine cask barrel from Guardian Cellars out of the Tri-Cities Red Mountain AVA. For those that know, Syrah is my jam. I love that type of wine, especially Red Mountain and Walla Walla, where you're going to have some minerality. I'm hoping, now as you can see, I've had some of this before. There's a little bit of minerality in here, but we're going to go ahead and discuss that, and I'm hoping that it's from the wine cask. So, what's their mash bill? They don't give percentages, but Westland likes to use Washington Select Pale malted barley, Munich barley, extra special barley, pale chocolate, and then brown malted barley. So it has been aged a minimum of 73 months, and the alcohol by volume on this is 57%, giving it a proof of 114 proof. So let's go and take a look at that. That is a beautiful, deep, amber copper color. There are legs, nice viscous legs on the side of the glass. There's a medium intensity to this whiskey. I mean, yes, the glass is designed to funnel the nose on it. I'm obviously getting the malt. There's a kind of a syrupy note to it. Almost like, I want to say maple syrup, but I want to, if you've ever had malto meal or any of those hot cereals made of barley. It's almost like you've taken a rich honey and poured it on there and mixed it up, and it's given it a very honey syrupy note on the nose. There's also a bit of a liqueur note, stone fruit liqueur, almost cherry note. And as it's opened up, I am getting, ooh, there's a stone fruit note too. Maybe peach or pear. Anyways, let's go back to the syrup note, because it's almost like a dark cherry, dark fruit syrup that I'm getting on this. And there's also a little bit of minerality on this, not a spicy mineral, but more like a very down-to-earth, earthy note to it. Let's go ahead and have a sip. Okay. On the front of the palate, that sweetness comes right in. It is a cherry or a stone fruit type of liqueur. Intense. I'm getting, ooh, there's that malty, syrupy note on the middle palate. The finish on this is exceptional. It's lingering. Now, I did get a slight hug note, Kentucky hug, but there's almost a tannic note to this that the wine cask has really given it. There was a slight flash of a drying note. Matter of fact, this area down here on my gums feels dry. Oh, I like this. This is really opened up past the shoulder. I can really now taste there's a chocolate note in there as well. And that's probably from the pale chocolate malt. Boy, that is just good. Now, like I said, when I purchased this, you had to go directly to the distillery for it, and I'll put a link down below in the description for Westland Distillery. But I'm telling you, you're going to have, especially distilleries in wine producing regions, you have a plethora of wines that are being made here in the state of Washington, Oregon, California. Missouri has some winemaking areas, New York. And I fully expect to get, for some of these distilleries, whether they're single malt or bourbon distilleries, things like that, you know, obviously traditionally Scotch and Irish, a lot of those were already done in port casks, in Sauterne casks, in XO Oloroso sherry casks, very different styles of wine. I am a big advocate, and this is a confirmation for me of a distillery going outside the box and finishing it in a Syrah cask. Or if you want a little bit more of a fruity note, maybe a Cabernet Sauvignon or a Merlot cask. Ask for these. If you like those wines, if you like the single malts, I think wine casks would probably go really good with American single malts most likely. Obviously, I did a review of a bourbon style whiskey. Now, it wasn't bourbon, from Woodinville Whiskey. Basically, it's their double whiskey that they basically triple cask, and they went ahead and finished it in an Ardbeg cask, right? I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of these distilleries with their single malts, maybe with their bourbons too, and they're going to go ahead and get some of these wine barrels and start experimenting. I'll be honest with you, I would love to see a light American single malt finished in something crisp and fresh, like a Semillon or maybe even a Sauvignon Blanc cask. I think that might add some light fruit notes to it. So anyways, that being said, if you like this content, please let me know in the comments down below. Have you had cask 5410? If you're lucky enough to be able to have a bottle of this, let me know if you have, what you guys think about that as well. Is there another Pacific Northwest distillery that maybe you think I should go ahead and find out and says, hey Scott, you know what, you missed this? This particular distillery here regularly does wine cask finishes from the Pacific Northwest as well. Let me know that down in the comments down below. Other than that, once again folks, find it, buy it. Oh, and I did pay about $110 after tax for this particular bottle. Go on Westland's website. I mean, with COVID and everything right now, you might be able to get it and have it mailed to you if they have any left. So anyways, as always folks, life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. What am I going to rate this? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to probably, when I get back from vacation, I'm probably going to go down to Westland and see if they've got any more of this. I want one more bottle of this at least. As a straight up good whiskey, boy, I'm going to tell you, you know what? I don't normally do this. I reviewed Ardbeg's Black, which was finished in New Zealand Pinot Noir casks. This, I'm going to say, is a 91. I think I gave this a 92. This is definitely a 91. 91 out of 100. So, as always, folks, life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. Thank you very much for joining me. Please share, like, comment. Cheers, everybody. Salute.